All right, guys. Zach here. I got Ty. I got Jesse. We're going to do this before, but last time Jesse got sick before convention, so we're back. You're better now. Good to go.
A lot better.
Dude, Ty, last time, I was looking at my notes from last time you did this. This was February. You were at like 300K a month, right?
Yeah,
350, somewhere right there. And
Yep.
your team how much your team do last month?
Like 750.
750.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think your goal was to be at 750 by the middle of the year and by like $1.5 million by the end of the year, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you're tracking on pace with what your kind of goal was.
Yeah, everything's like working with what we talked about and
Yeah.
what we plan on.
What have you implemented this year to go from? Because I think every time we talk about building, for me, I have like PTSD thinking about being between like 250 to 500.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest time in business. So what did you do to cruise through that spot to get to where, or not cruise through, that makes sound like it wasn't a lot of work, but to get past that 250, 300, 400, 500 mark and then jump up to 750 as quick as you did?
Just keep growing. Yeah. So we basically, like, from the start, we built out a really good system to where if guys just ran the play, it would just continue to work. And so I think typically when guys get stuck at 250 to 300, like, you know, what I see at least is there's a couple. It's like you're leading the charge, and then you got one or two guys that are like trying to build, and it's just like it's tough to get past that point. What we've been fortunate to have, or it's just a credit to like the training and the system that we built, is we have like 6 or 7 guys that are all pushing, and not everybody's going as fast as others. Like Chris is going really fast, you know, versus maybe others. I guess Chris is going fast, Nick's going pretty fast. But Jesse, like, it's taken some time. Right?
Yeah.
But everybody's like pushing in the same direction, so we're all growing, you know, pretty steadily.
When you say system, like what does that mean? Because I think system is one of those things that people throw around. They're like culture, system, you know, like training, and it can mean a lot of different things for different people.
Right. So for us specifically, like 99% of people that start with us start on lead assist, and so we provide the leads. I feel like that eliminates so much stress or bottleneck for new agents. They have enough leads. They can call. We have thousands of age leads that they can just get their reps in, suck for 2 months, and still be okay. And they haven't spent a dime, right? And then the daily trainings, I'd say we do. I haven't heard of anybody running 2-a-day trainings.
Yeah.
And some might think it's overkill, but I think that's also helped. So the 8 a.m. and then the 1 o'clock trainings Monday through Friday. And then I think the third piece to that is it's not just me running the show. So I've delegated most of the training and onboarding to all the other guys that are trying to build their team. So so those 3 things I think are the system that we run.
Yeah, and you did a really good job this last year of conversion of getting people from contracted or from unlicensed contracted and then contracted to selling.
Right. Yeah.
And like you said, mostly probably because of the training and because of the system and the free leads and whatnot. What are a couple of things do you think you're gonna adjust or tweak moving forward to be able to get to that 1.5 million now?
Yeah, so we talked about it earlier, like tracking the recruiting stuff, right? Because we did a really good job of like, we have a sales script. We track those numbers. Like it's on our board every day. Like everybody posts their numbers. All that stuff is tracked. But the recruiting side, like I don't have a script for recruiting. I don't track the numbers. We don't have anything that I can look at and say, okay, this guy's doing really well. Let's go all in on here. Versus like sales, I could be like, okay, this guy is slinging. Let me get him more leads. We don't have anything like that for recruiting. So tracking the recruiting stuff by, hey, how many people did you get in the course this week? And then if that guy is getting a bunch of people in the course, let me send him more people, you know, from our ads and, you know, Indeed and all that stuff to hire. So I think that's going to help us go to the next level. Yeah,
it's funny. Like whatever you put a focus on, magnifying glass on, grow. And I had a group recently that was like 2 months ago. They're doing 400K a month, 450 a month. And I'm like, this makes no sense because you have a lot of people like, and I started digging into it and I'm like he thought it was all these different things he needed to tweak. He thought it was like, we need to like tweak the way our onboarding works and this and that and the third. And I'm like, dude, with his, it was like a couple of things. It was like one, like you don't post a weekly leaderboard for your team. That makes no sense. There's no competition at all for sales or for recruiting. Right. Yep. So I'm like, you don't post that. Then we look at your average per agent, it's low. Like how are you ever having a conversation with these guys about buying leads? Like, and how much they're spending on leads and why they're not spending more. Because I talked to one of his guys, I was like, and he was like, I made 900 dials. I had like 20 some pickups. I did 8 presentations. I closed 3 of them. I'm like, oh, dude, that's great.
Right.
When's the last time you bought leads? Like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, we got to put in some sort of system about like making sure that people are buying enough leads and pushing them.
Yeah.
Track recruiting numbers and just post a weekly submit number and like your whole business. And then 3 months later, doing 800K a month. I'm like, you changed 3 like tiny things.
Yep.
And I think like to your point, most people think that their whole system needs to be changed sometimes. It's like, no, dude, we just got to tweak this one little thing here. To your point, like, hey, let's just start tracking and paying attention to recruiting leaderboards. Everyone will want to recruit more because it has a magnifying glass on it.
Right. And I think it's the reason we have, part of the reason we have 2-a-day trainings is like, we're not training this groundbreaking stuff every day.
Yeah.
It's just the fundamentals. But our agents are hearing it every single day. And it's like, I know that certain people get sick of me training on the think about it objection.
Yeah.
But like the new agents, like they hear that over and over and over to where it's really hard for them to forget. Cause like you said, the agent that didn't know to buy leads every week, that's such a fundamental like key to success.
Yeah.
It just wasn't reminded. So
and it's like he made 900 dials over 2 days. That's a lot of dials. Like that's a good amount.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and he closed 3 out of 8 people that he actually talked to. I'm like,
great numbers.
Great numbers. Let's just fix this one thing. Then you're good to go.
It's just being reminded.
Yeah.
So I think we're good at that.
Well, that's even like NFL teams when they go to their OTAs and everything. Like they do blocking and tackling. Like they run the route tree. Like that's all the people do the basic stuff over and over again. You know, and I think in our business with recruiting, it was funny. I was trying to give an example the other day, and I looked it up. It was like there's 5 million people that played football at some level last year in the United States. Okay. And then there was 1,600 people that played in the NFL. And I'm like, I think what a lot of us try to do is we try to go like, we try to basically do the equivalent of lining up like all the toddlers that are going to play football.
Right.
And we're like, okay, here's the 1,600 out of the 5 million. Like you'd have it would make no sense to do it that way.
Yeah.
But we try to do that when we're recruiting people in insurance. And instead you're like, no, let's recruit a bunch of people, put them through the class, let's filter them through this system, and then let's find our 1,600 NFL players.
Right.
You know, and find our top 25% of people to work with.
Yeah.
You know, and once you figure that out, then it's a wrap because you have a lot of other people recruiting with you, and your business keeps growing.
Yeah, and everybody does the same thing. We're all moving in the right direction. So.
What's your average agent sells at a really high level? You only had 40 agents to sell 750. What do you think? I know that sales and leads and training. Do you think that is it, or what else has led to that high of a number? And for anyone watching that, why is that important? Like, why should they work with you as opposed to different groups?
Yeah, so I talked about the systems earlier. Everybody has some version of a system. Like if you have a team and an agency, like you're running some sort of system to a degree, right? But at the end of the day, the results, like that's how you can judge. So like, hey, should I work with this guy? What are his results?
Yeah.
Right. And we talked about for so long, like I was always taught when I started working with you in Easton, like you guys sold a ton of insurance. So it set the bar super high and like, okay, I want to chase that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I started building where it's like, well, it really doesn't matter what I do. Like, yeah, sure, I can sell 60, 70, 100K in a month, but like not everybody's going to do that. But like, let's look at our average rep. Our average rep sells twice as much as the company average. That means that it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, like that should tell you something, right? And so that's kind of what we focus on now. And
getting agents paid.
And getting agents paid. From every, like now we have proof of every background, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds with sales experience, every industry, like everyone's been getting paid. So now when people come to the office, I think that's another key is like they're around the fire. Yeah. Now when they come to the office, there's just constant proof of concept to where we have agents that's, you know, let's say they sit in the corner and they're just dialing the phone, getting no sales, probably wondering like, should I be doing this? Like this sucks. Yeah. But they see like constantly throughout the day, like every 30 minutes, someone's writing a deal on the board. And so it's like, as long as they keep showing up, they're like, man, someone's selling. So obviously this is working. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah. You plug them in, they see it. They see enough different people do it. And they're like, okay, I have to either change or it's me. It's not the lead. It's not anything besides me.
Exactly.
You know? So Jesse, how long have you worked with Ty for?
A year and a half now.
Okay. Year and a half. And then how much did you sell last year and then this year so far?
Last year I finished at about 440,000, and then this year we're at around like 220.
Got it. And then did you have a big background in sales prior to doing this, or what were you doing before?
Construction project management. So
no sales.
Yeah, no sales at all.
What do you think allowed you to come on like what are some things you specifically did? Because not everyone succeeds, even though a lot of people from Ty's group do well. Like what allowed you to come on and have success where you sold that much your first, 8 months in the business or 6 months in the business?
Yeah, no, I sucked the first 5 months for sure. I was terrible.
Yeah.
But I was really consistent and just really good at duplicating Ty. So
When you were terrible, how much were you selling when you were not doing well?
5 to 10,000 a month.
Oh, a month. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. And then what do you sell per month now?
50 to 40.
50 to 40. Okay,
Yeah.
so now that you're selling 40, 50, you said you duplicated Ty. Like what things did you learn to duplicate to allow you to go from like 5 to 10 is barely enough to be in the business still. You're probably breaking even, right? Or barely making any money.
Oh, I was losing money.
lost 40 grand
I
at
drained
first.
40 grand.
Okay,
yeah,
so you lost
just
40
blew
grand
savings, yeah.
through 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not great start.
No, not good.
now you're probably netting. You're probably netting 30 to 40 grand a month now, right?
Yeah.
So you've made it back plus some, so life is all good.
100% worth it, yeah.
How did it feel to go through that losing 40 grand? Like, you're married, right?
No.
Not married.
No, just girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah.
You have your girlfriend, you have your family. Like, was everyone telling you got to bail on this for it's like what was it like going down that downward spiral where you're just losing money? And why did you not quit?
I mean, I had like personal family that was supportive.
Yeah.
Girlfriend's family not very supportive.
Okay.
So I got really good at tuning them out.
Yeah.
When I was going through that phase of sucking, I just completely cut them out of my life.
Got it.
Went no connection, and then
She was supportive though?
she was supportive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got close to the point where I had enough money to pay rent one more time, and I told her that. So she's like, "You better figure it out because I'm not moving into your dad's basement."
Yeah,
and
okay.
I understand that. Yeah.
So you went. What kept you rolling when that stuff was going on? Like, why did you decide? I'm gonna go do something else. Like, what or go back to construction management?
I mean, day one, I was super bought in. So
Okay.
there was no plan Bs. I just had a lot of belief in the system and in Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've tried other things in life, but I never was around such a good association.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to sit in office 60 hours a week with Ty, just having all the support I could ever ask for, I mean, I knew I'd eventually figure out, even if I sucked forever.
what? So you were selling 5 to 10. Did you
Mm-hmm.
jump straight up to 50 from that, or did you go to like 20, then 30? Like, what was the pathway for you to get to where you sell 50 now?
It was pretty slow. So I think it was like around 5 to 10 the first couple months. And then February, I think I cracked like 13, 14. And then in March, I sold 34.
Okay. What happened between February and March?
I started being more proactive about asking for help.
Okay.
So I went through a pretty long phase where for 4 weeks, I did over 80 presentations, didn't sell a single policy.
Wow.
While actively buying leads, working 6-7 days
This
a
was
week.
like February of the.
So it was
of this
actually
year?
December.
Okay.
Oh, not of this year, of 2023.
Okay,
I started
got it.
November 2023.
Okay.
Yep. So December 2023, basically that whole month, just ate it. And then January, started asking for help. So I went to Ty and Easton, hey, can you listen to my call recordings? And as soon as I did that, it changed everything.
Got it. And they
Yeah.
were able to. So you were already spending money on leads. You just were not closing at a high level.
Yeah.
Which is which is my goal as a manager is like, can I get people to work hard, which you're doing, spend money on leads, which you're doing, and then we can fix the closing part, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Easton struggled with too when he was new, was like actually closing. What were the things that you changed from not closing to be able to start closing?
I mean, when I showed them my calls, the biggest thing was sending credentials in the beginning. I never
Okay.
did that. And then I was a robot. So I was not real with people, personable, and I was just quoting everyone.
What are some examples? Like, give me examples of what you used to do if I'm the client versus what you do now.
So, I mean, if someone's like, yeah, my husband passed away last year, I'd be like, sorry to hear that. Like, anyways, and just move right past
Got
it,
it.
you know?
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah,
buy this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
okay.
really listening to people.
How would you handle that now? Hey, my husband died last year.
I would, of course, say I'm sorry for their loss,
Yeah.
and then go a little deeper into it. It's like, how long were you guys together? What was that transition like? Stuff like that.
Got
So
it.
it shows that I really do care.
Yeah.
So.
Because you do care. You're
Yeah.
a genuinely caring person, and so you'd be able to dig in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what were some of the common objections you used to get before you learned how to close that you got rid of? So you said one was the credibility piece. You learned to send people out
Credibility,
your credentials up front. What were other objections you used to get?
I used to get a lot of spouse objections, but
Okay.
now I pre-frame in the beginning, make sure the spouse is available or they've already had that discussion, so they don't need to be there.
Got it. So
Yeah.
if you used to get people all the time, like I need to talk to my wife or my kids or whatever, and now you just ask that up front in the beginning of the appointment.
Yep.
Got it. Was there any other objections you used to get, or is that it's hard to remember now?
Yeah, I mean, like, I got to shop around, but now I do that right before I quote, let them know that I'm shopping through everything, so.
So you didn't really get better at like overcoming objections. You just got better at putting them in the presentation to where they wouldn't come up later.
Correct, yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Now you sell $50K a month. Your team's at $100,000 a month. You're starting to recruit. That $100,000 a month mark is interesting because you're just learning how to recruit, build a business. Like, what's that been like so far to get to 100,000? And what are some of the things that are like? What are some of the struggles you've seen? What are you trying to get better at right now to get to 200, 300, 400K?
I mean, reflecting back at, the past couple months, the past year, the big thing was, not setting proper expectations. I did a poor job at that in the beginning for a while. And then one thing that I really took away from Sean's mastermind in April was consistency. So I've been like super, I guess, inconsistent with running recruiting ads, hiring people. It's like I go in bursts instead of just like constantly letting it flow 24/7. So.
Yeah. I think, Ty, do you think that's the biggest thing that you see your guys struggle with is in recruiting is just like bring a class in and then completely try to focus on them and not keep filling the pipeline up?
Yeah, 100%. And then even like you got to treat it like you do leads. Like you get leads every week. You got to have some sort of faucet on for recruiting and just like let it run.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's losing focus. Like I think I don't like to take the one-on-one approach for a new agent because like they may not be good. So I wasted all that time. Now they quit and they're like, now I'm behind. I can't hire more. So it's like we do the one-to-many where it's like they all go through the same training and we're able to just find the people that actually, find the NFL players that, just show up, right? Because the NFL players, they didn't just get handpicked like, okay, you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like they just beat everybody. So like you got 20 new agents. How many new agents do we have at that class on Monday? Like 10,
15,
12, 15?
probably, yeah.
So 15 across the whole group. There's probably 2 or 3 statistically that are going to just
Be killers.
take it and run.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just never turning it off, yeah.
Has it surprised you how top-loaded talent is in this business and how important it is to focus on that? Like, how do you think about the 80-20 rule now?
Well, so yeah, you've said it like over the years, like it's not a new concept, but I think you told me around convention about it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is so right. And I had some numbers to actually run, and so I ran my numbers.
It's crazy,
and it
right?
was like, I think at that time, 10 out of the, it was like 10 guys did 85% of the volume.
Yeah.
So then I decided, I mean, not literally, but like F everyone else. Like these 10 dudes.
I need 10 more.
Like these 10 dudes, like you guys get all my attention. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what has happened now where like we really do take care of our leaders and the guys that are putting in the time and girls that are putting in the time and the results, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, let's just allow the system to run, the recruits to come in, the training to take place, we buy leads, allow that to run, and then another player will rise to the top and he gets added to where it's like, all right, dude, let's run.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest source of frustration I've had and most people have is like you bring on people, you have your 10 that are good, then you want to spend time with them, but then you're only spending time with them and not bringing new people on.
Right.
And it's like, I think our business, your goal should always be like, can I just keep like replacing the most talented people on my team?
Yeah.
And getting better and better and better.
Right.
I'm like, think about if call Alabama like the best college football team. It's like if they didn't recruit high school people every year, they would suck, dude. All their people would age out and they'd have no team.
Yeah.
But we do that all the time in business. We're like, we just stop recruiting. We'll focus on these guys. Imagine if they did that. They're like, oh shit, Nick Saban left and we have no new recruits. Like we don't have a team.
Yeah.
Like I guess we got to go walk around in Tuscaloosa and find some frat guys that can play football this year. Like we're gonna get smoked.
Right.
But we all do that in business.
Totally.
We don't keep replenishing talent.
Yeah.
What are a few of the did you have any big hurdles to get to 750? And can you foresee anything that you're gonna have to change to get to $1.5 million outside of what you're already doing?
Other than focusing on like the recruiting numbers and like actually tracking that, I think that's and then taking social media like seriously.
Yeah.
So like last year, I always say like, okay, we popped from, me and Jesse to finishing the year with like whatever 30 agents, right? And so doing that, I just took recruiting seriously and just started doing it. This year, it's like, all right, what's the next thing? You know, the way we recruited last year wasn't the most efficient. It was Indeed. We literally just brought in hundreds of bodies and then found 3 that are still here today. Right.
How many? Those 3 led to how many do you think?
Well, I know how much volume. So out of those 3, we now have close to 200K in volume. So it definitely worked out. But now, from what I'm seeing with social media and actually taking that seriously, like I'm able to attract the talent that I'm going after with the targeting and the messaging and all that stuff. To where now the people that are reaching out, like if they do come on board, they're pretty, like if you could pick an ideal candidate, I know anyone can do it, but like if you pick an ideal candidate of someone who has the sales experience, has managed teams, recruited in another industry, now comes and applies that here, it should work out a little bit better. So
it makes sense too with social media, right? Because when they're looking at it, they're going to message someone who resonates with them. So they're messaging you because they're like, well, that guy kind of resonates with me. So they're probably more likely to be similar to you, right?
Right.
Like if they didn't resonate with you, they'd probably find someone else that they're like, oh, I like this guy a little bit better, or that guy a little bit better, or this girl a little bit better.
Because of my background in solar, I can speak to like, hey, I understand the industry is kind of rocky right now. Like I was in solar, and whether like I was as deep into solar as like another guy that I'm talking to, it still resonates. Like, okay, you know the door-to-door game, you know where I come from. Like let's work together. And
you still speak the same language as
exactly.
them.
Yep.
Why do you think insurance is the best vehicle right now, given what's happened with some of the door-to-door stuff? I mean, real estate is great, but it's up and down, and it's so dependent on the market. Like why if you could tell like someone who's fresh out of high school right now, they're like, I'm the most coachable person ever, I'll do whatever you say. Like, how do I want to make $1 million my first 2 years in business? Why is insurance that vehicle for them?
Right. And to clarify, like insurance, I was talking to, I think, Chris about this earlier. Like insurance has several different models. Like the model has to be right. So our model where you're broker, high comp, you can have warm leads, all that stuff is the correct model. Now I've summed it up to, because I've talked about this a lot with the guys, it's like it's control, right? Control and predictability. Because like in other industries, you can do all the right things, whether it's cars or solar or phones, whatever it is, you could be the perfect A player that does all the right things. But if the fulfillment side is messed up, or the economy is messed up, like those are stuff out of your control. Like you think about 2008, anybody that was in housing was crushing it, and then not,
and they weren't,
and they were like way bad, right?
I talked to a guy the other day who said that he sold enough solar to make $800,000 last year, and they installed enough to where he got paid $175,000.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's not in his control at all.
Yeah, he did his job. The fulfillment, but it's a construction, so it's control, right? So insurance, literally the word insurance is like protection, like security, right? It's the most secure industry, and we're backed by companies that are not going anywhere. So insurance is the best, just because you know that if you sink your teeth into the industry and like run with something, it's not going to go anywhere, right? And then you, on top of that, the warm leads, the high comp, speed of pay, I think is the number one thing for salespeople. Like, speed of cash is everything. So getting paid predictably within a week, sometimes 2 days, like, dude, it's really hard to beat that. So I think just knowing like people that are now leaving other industries where it's just up and down, like in solar, we call it the solar coaster. Like this is still hard work, and you're going to have the solar coaster of like actually selling, just because there's good days and bad days. But as an industry, as a vehicle, it's like very, very predictable. So
makes sense. Well, dude, I love watching you crush it. Like we talked about before, it was a long. I've been doing this for almost 8 years now, and everyone's like, "You built it fast." I'm like, "Not really. It took me like really 3-4 years to get." And then once it ramped up fast. And same thing with you. Like you kind of beat your head against the wall for a little bit, figured it out, and then boom, it's like a rocket ship. So
it feels overnight, but it was.
But you're like, it's a lot of it's a lot of banging your head against the wall to get there. So. Well, Jesse, Ty, appreciate you guys coming in, man. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all keep crushing it, and it's going to be a big year.
Thanks,
so
dude.
Thank you, dude. Thanks for
Thanks
sharing.
for having us.